I thought the bit where you would create, you had the team in for a meeting and you asked them to find the leaders within the team, and a part you mentioned is that most people will gravitate towards the best player, and naturally sometimes even the best players in the team will gravitate and think, I should be the leader. But I think the amazing part was about how the team picked up like rookies, it picked up younger players who hadn't played much. There were some experienced guys, and they were self-regulating themselves, knowing that they were picking up the players who had the best attitude and things like that. That for me was something that shone through massively, that no one in the team, it didn't matter if you were 20 games in or 200 games in, if you were a good person and you were a good leader and you lived values that they resonated with it. I think that could be tough for some teams, some organizations to take on board, because they'll naturally want to gravitate towards the best players and the best performers.
And that's why it's so important to get congruency when you do it. And I take my hat off to my coaches that I had at the time, our fitness team, medical staff, and our players, because from day one when we did it at Coffs Harbour, they bought into it and they said, I guess then I'm going to really take this voting process seriously, get talent, and I'm going to just look at the behaviours we've agreed on and I'm going to vote accordingly. And I think because we took it serious from day one, because we had Stewie driving it, we had the coaches driving it, and no one was outside the system. And it's so important if you're trying to do that. You can't have an outlier in the system. And that's not to say everyone falls in from day one. That's not what I'm saying. But you've got to hold them accountable, whether that's your best salesperson that doesn't turn up to meetings, whether it's your best, accountant that is always late, whether it's your best lawyer that doesn't make phone calls back or whatever. It doesn't matter. You've got to reward and challenge the behaviour. And then eventually they act their way into the system or act their way out of the system. So it's not a case of everyone, certainly at Sydney, not everyone fell in the line straight away, but we would reward and challenge constantly. And then players acted their way in and acted their way out. And then to your point, players knew that if I do this, then I'm going to have a pretty good chance of success at this footy club. And that's ultimately what's proven to be correct.